What is up everybody, Gifford here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go over what I've been doing in my Sharesies portfolio and why I've sold some stock to buy another. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to go over, as you can see here, I've changed the position sizing or the weight sizing that I've been doing. So in USG, I've gone all the way up to 24%. I pumped up QQQ up to 18% now. VOO, VYM sort of stays the same. But the big ones that I've been selling out of is SCHD, which is now down to 5%, and then Devo, which is down to 7%. And then over in the coming months, I will probably be selling those off. You can see here that it's still weighted quite highly on the ETFs, and then I've got some individual stocks. Now, in those individual stocks, I have been selling some, but I've also been increasing, and mainly I've been increasing it in Google and Microsoft, but mostly Google, and you can see that I bumped it up to 12%. And this is just the general plan that I go through. It has changed since the beginning of the year because I am moving away from dividend stocks. So in my portfolio here, we can see that it's currently at 86,139. That also includes my Kiwi Saver, which is starting to come up. And my investments is up to 20,600, and we can see here that the simple return is actually pretty low at 5.26. So going into it, we can see the breakdown is that I've put in $20,071, and there's a simple return there, and my return so far is 1,060. And clicking into the chart, we can see here that the last 3 months has actually been pretty choppy as I have sold and am buying those stocks that I just said before. So while we're in the wallet here, just a quick mention, thank you very much for people that use my referral code. Feel free to use that there, that I've got linked in the description, but really appreciate that because then I get $5 and so do you. So if we head over to the sell button, we can see that I have been selling some SCHD in big chunks, and I've been using the $15 plan to do that. Now there's a position I've actually sold out of entirely, which is my JP Morgan income ETF. So this is GP, JEPI, and we can see there that I sold $1,300 worth, and this was using the $15 plan. So if you are selling big amounts, especially over $1,000 US, I highly encourage you to go to the next plan because it's going to cost you a lot. Basically charged, I believe, 1.9% of all this. So yeah, highly recommend you use a plan to get rid of this. But yeah, as I move out of dividends, I really needed to sell this one here to buy into growth stocks and to put more money into just USG, pretty much for capital growth. And it's a bit of a shame because GP has been my highest dividend payer. It pays, quite frequently, so yeah, but that's just the way that I've changed my plan up. So moving actually into my portfolio, we can see here that the biggest one now is the investment value. So the highest investment value we have is USG. Now it's a little bit different because this one here is in New Zealand dollars and the other ones are in US dollars. That's because this is sort of a smart shares one, and this handles all my fifth tax for me, which is the other reason I wanted to get into this. But it's currently down by 2.39%. But yeah, when I started buying this, it actually went down, but obviously I'm buying it, and all I'm doing is buying cheaper shares, and this here is the growth ETF basically of Vanguard. And what I've been pumping into as well is QQQ, which is really those high-tech stocks, and it's currently up by only 4%, but it has been good buying this at a much cheaper rate because it has gone down. So if we click into that and have a look down here, we can see its 6 months performance has been pretty down, and then I've just been buying consistently. It's 1 year, it sort of peaked up here, come down, but if you look back a year, it was at $440. So if we look at the 5-year performance in there, it's done pretty well. So this is a large ETF. You can see it's also, I'm sort of doubling up in investments with Apple, and no doubt this will have, Nvidia, Microsoft, Alphabet, there we go, Microsoft, Alphabet in there, which I already have of. So if we go into settings, we can see the pricing plan, and we can see there that I am on the $15 plan. I will be going to the $7 plan very shortly, so in about 3 days, 3 days time, and we can see that I've pretty much used up almost $5,000 of that buying and selling. And the auto invest, well, there's plenty to invest there. I don't have $10,000 to invest in this month, unfortunately. I don't think I ever will to invest in 1 month because it's a lot of money, but yeah, I have been using that. Now, Sharesies is pretty sneaky. What they do is they have a buy-sell together for $5,000 cap, and then the $10,000 cap for this one here is a lot bigger because they want you basically to put more money in than get money out. So just got to watch out for that. That's just the way Sharesies does it. Yeah, if you invest in a New Zealand company like I have with the Smart Shares, the platform, this is only going to be your go-to platform, so there's not much you can do. So why did I decide to go into that USG? We can see here, this is the SPY, so SPY, and this is telling us that the market has actually flipped. So we can see here that the market was up, and then the Donald Trump stuff started happening with the tariffs, and we can see that it was a decline here. And if I just go out a bit, it kind of shows you here that the market was going up, and then it is going down. We can see here going down. It did try to recover back up again, but it was a pretty ugly downtrend. So when's this here? So this really started going down in February, and now it's just starting to come back up because we have the moving average. So we have the 10 over the 20, and we can see there that it is going up. Now, it's going to be interesting about what happens here. I'm hoping it does bounce off that 50 moving average and goes back up, because otherwise if it crosses that, then we're probably going to get another leg down. But that's okay, because I have some money on the sideline, or I'll be earning some more money and I'll be buying some more cheap shares if that happens. But I do expect that we have actually had a bottoming of some sort. Yeah, so I'm thinking we're going to do all right here, that as long as nothing crazy happens, like a World War III type thing happens, that we should get a bounce up and then continue to go higher. But who knows, it's a stock market, right? All I'm doing is preparing myself to be putting more into ETFs, which is a lot safer, and then concentrating more of my time into actually my trading account. So talking about my trading account, if you haven't seen this here, well, this is my tracker for 2025. I made this because what I want to be doing is tracking how much money I have across my three main portfolios. So over here in the accounts, we'll just look at this. So each one is the quarters, and that's how I want to be tracking it. And then I've got a nice little simple graph there for how I'm just how I'm going along, right? But on the left hand side, what we've got is my dividend Sharesies account. Then we've got in here, it's called options, but in Q2 it's actually called trading account. And then the third one is just a private account that I have. So the private one is just not, I don't show that one on here on YouTube. That's just my own one, but I do show my dividend growth account, and then also what I do in the trading account, although not so much, because there's not too much interest in this trading one, although it does have a lot of my money in there. So it's got 30,000 or 30,000 equivalent New Zealand dollars. Okay, so going into Q2, we can see that over here is sort of the summary, and we can see how much money I've made. Now, just sort of a disclaimer, in Q1 it actually looks really good because I'm above by 11,000. Now, it's because I put some money in, but then obviously what's happened is I've taken some of that money out because I have spent it on something, which is another video for later on. But yeah, I ended up taking $10,000 from somewhere to do a bit of a purchase, which I'll explain in another video. But we can see here, these are now the current totals that I have. Now, what I do with this is I put it at the end of the quarter. So hang on, where do I do that? So I put it actually here, but I'm just putting it right now just to sort of give me a current, how I'm tracking. And I just fill these numbers in, and that means that across these three portfolios, we can see that I have $61,570. And if we go over here, it's telling me that I'm actually down by, $2,544 from my target. But remembering that this is the end of Q2. So I've probably got another 6 weeks to go on this. So I'm not too worried because I am putting money here as well as growing it. Yeah, but so this is my tracker, and what I'm hoping to do is that by the end of this, I've got, my full figures here where I start at sort of 59,000 and then I end up sort of 69,000, 70,000, with a difference of me making $10,000 either by deposits but also having returns. So this is a good way to track it. This just makes sure that every week I'm looking at this, understanding what I'm doing, and the changes that I've done to my portfolio is so that at the end of the year I actually hit this figure here. So right now across those three portfolios I have 61,000, and then on top of that I've got my hatch as well, which isn't counted, the Binance and crypto, and then I've also got my Kiwi Saver. So that is why I have over $100,000 invested in the stock market. So just a quick summary of the video, you can see there that I've been selling my dividend shares, namely I've completely sold out of GP, and then I'm selling down as my plan allows on SCHD and also Devo. As I've said, I think there's opportunity right right now to be buying Google stocks, so I have been doing that, as well as a little bit of Microsoft. Anyway, if you've got any comments, feel free to write them down below. Let me know what stocks you are buying or if you've changed your strategy. A big one also is, do you think the market has actually turned around and we've finished bottoming out? Feel free to use my referral codes. Again, thank you to that person that used it and all to the other people that have used it beforehand. If you want to follow me elsewhere, you can go over to Instagram, where I post every other day about my stock market portfolio and any other stock market news that is relevant. Hit that like and subscribe button to really help me out if you're interested in stock market investing from someone from New Zealand. The trading platform I use is Interactive Brokers, Hatch Invest, Stake, and Sharesies for individual companies, and I use InvestNow for index funds. If you want to start investing, you can use any of my referral codes down below to start your own investing journey if you are from New Zealand. Click this video here if you want to know about options trading. This playlist here will let you know how to do sort of the simple strategies and what I'm doing in the market, real life examples from someone who started at the beginning. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.